Hello. We got a new little overlay going on today. Felt fancy. Hey DMF, Finton and Alexander. I need to program this plane a bit. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the batteries on. Gonna get the avionics master on. Because I need to actually manually input the flight plan here. Cursor, clear, yes. So we're going from, and this is going to be me not looking at chat, Trav, so don't complain when I don't look at chat. So the flight plan is Lima, X-ray, woo, Golf Bravo. Go sauce. Go sauce. Then UT-100, which is Gonza. Anza, Golfo, have I mentioned where we're flying? We're flying to Algiers. Golf. Oh. The intersection of Spain, please. And then it's Carbo. There is a place in Italy called Carbonara. That is amazing. Carbo. Then Moss. Mike. Oscar. Sierra. In Algeria, yes. And then Dara. To Alpha. Hotel Romeo. Alpha. And then Delta Alpha Alpha. Golf. Why is it saying I'm 2,000 kilometers from where I am right now? Because it thinks I'm in... Why does it think I'm there? Oh, hang on, there's an extra point in the flight plan that I didn't spot. Yes, that would be why it thinks I'm there. Yes, no. No, I want you to just start it. Yes, that's perfect. No, no, you... There we go. There we go. Now I can look at chat. That's the wrong window. There we go. Okay, now I've got everything sorted. So now I need to start this thing, and I need to remember how to start a Beechcraft. Fuel boosts need to come on, prop sync will need to come on, the alternators need to come on. Rich mix... let's try starting engine 2. Yeah, apparently I do need the mixed rich. Here's engine 2 started. And engine 1 started. Pitot heats can come on. Just turn all of them on. All of these are non-functional. Beacon, nav, taxi are on. Don't need flaps. Just set that on. And now I need to get the weather, which is going to be in nav 2, or set 2 here. Com 2.
Lima, X-Ray, Golf, Bravo, Airport Information, Foxtrot 1450, Zulu, weather, wind 221 at 8, visibility 10.
You have not missed anything yet,
condition, few clouds at 3500, temperature 23, dew point 11, QNH 1016, advice on initial contact, you have information, Foxtrot.
There we go. It was winds,
Lima.
Winds for 27, basically. So let's get the parking brake off and get our plane on the move. Hey, I didn't hit those guys. Mildly impressed. Mowing grass in FS15, very nice. So let's get on Avitab. Just stop here, sec LXGB. I want to get the airport info up here. Yes, I can basically taxi off down to 27 this way. This is going to be a loud one because they don't have any headphone things for this. Or do I? No, Explain doesn't have that as a default feature. Nuts! It's complaining about the pitos. It's complaining only about the left pitot. Let's leave that off, I guess. And I need to set this to GPS. It's been a while since I've flown the 58. So hopefully the overlay is going to work. If it doesn't, blame Traff, because he told me how to set it up. I'm going to bring this up to 700 feet before engaging some sort of autopilot. Won't be full and perfect. This... Oh, okay. Okay, that was quite a bit of turbulence just off the runway there. Hey, designate. Right, let's get the autopilot on. Set it to nav. And set the odometer on as well. Just set it into a nice climb up to approximately 14 to 17,000 feet. Can pull back the mixture now. Expected to arrive just after 8. At my current speed, yes, but it will actually be significantly earlier than that. How's the overlay actually looking? Because I've not had a chance to check this. ETA 1901 Zulu. Yeah, that's... It's gonna be a bit earlier than that, I think. But now you guys can see where we are and what stage in flight we're at for once. So we can lean out the mixture a bit more. And I do have prop sync on. The taxi light can come off now. Where's taxi light? That can come off. I'll also take off the landing lights, they're not really needed. Fuel boost pumps can stay on, and we're basically configured for the rest of this flight. Turn on the left pitot now as well, just for funsies. What does the Z behind the ETA mean? Zulu, which is GMT, basically. It's the aeronautical term for GMT, which is currently 1 hour behind Irish time. Or Irish time is 1 hour ahead. So I'm gonna just go into my settings here real quick, and because that is insanely loud, just turn down the aircraft interior noise a bit. That's still insanely loud. Is it the aircraft exterior noise is the problem? That's still very loud, isn't it? Let's just turn down the master to like there. There we go. That's much more audible. Yeah, Z stands for Zulu, which is basically GMT. Set course to 098. Where do you set the course in this thing? Is it this? No. I don't know how to set the course. Is it via the... There is no heading bug, interestingly. I can disregard the message at least. Yeah, it's Zulu, which is GMT, which is an hour behind UK time, so... Current ETA is it 1901 still? Yeah, 1918 Zulu, so 20 past 8 is the current ETA. It's gonna actually decrease, it's gonna come closer to where we are. Because I'm in a quite slow climb, I'm only going 120 knots indicated. We're gonna get significantly faster than this as we climb up, and we're heading up to... I'm presuming this thing's pressurized. I'm not seeing any indication it's not. So we're going to go up to about 17,500 feet, 17,000 feet roughly. And hold there and cruise the rest of the way at probably somewhere around, it's saying 150, I'd like to go to 160. I'd like to get up near the yellow. I can pull down the RPM slightly now, which will reduce the fuel flow a bit more. Like the RPM is governed by this. If I can get both to about 2500 RPM, that is perfect right there. It's just going to run the engine a lot more efficiently. We can bring the throttle back up. How am I this morning? I am very good this evening. Oh, this is my course bug. Hey. Look at that. So our outside air temperature is approximately 5 degrees Celsius. How's it going? It's going good, Nathan. How's it going with you, dude? Those of you just joining, we're heading, we've just left Gibraltar there a couple of minutes ago. We're heading out into the Mediterranean. We're en route to Algiers in Algeria. It's our next stop on the tour, and I'm just going to edit the map real quick. That can go green. And this leg can go that weird orangey yellow I've been using. Yellowy orange, whichever. Coming up through 8,800 feet now. And we are still doing good. This game's too complex for you. It's quite easy once you get the hang of it. Like, it looks very complicated at first, and then you realize that at a base level, every single plane in the world flies the same way. Like, it looks incredibly complex, and you might wonder, how on earth do I know how to do all this stuff? If you learn on, we'll say, a Cessna in X-Plane, I'm just going to use X-Plane as an example. FSX is much the same, just the quality is a lot lower. P3D is much the same, with similar quality to X-Plane, but X-Plane is slightly better out the box. Once you learn on, we'll say, a Cessna, you can fly a 747, basically. It's just learning the systems that each plane has. And it's something like this Beechcraft Baron 58. It's quite simple to start, you know, batteries on, fuel boost pumps on, mixture rich, and then turn the starter to start. This both here indicates what magnetos are being used. I could use the right magneto of the left engine, the left magneto of the right engine, but it doesn't matter too much. And all this stuff here is literally just in case there's ice buildup, which there won't be. This here is landing gear. Simple up or down. I forgot to fuel this plane fully. That's potentially going to be very interesting. This is showing what the trim is set at because it's a bit wobbly. I can trim the rudder or the ailerons if I really need to. This is my flaps. I'll be bringing them down for landing. This is my vertical speed. We're at currently, what's that, 700 feet per minute. Vertically, we're 10,500 feet in the air. No, we're not, because we're above 10,000, which means we can set this to standard, which is 1013. Or 2992 inches of mercury. Gonna need to reduce vertical speed now. Bring it down to 500. 400 even. 5. Stick with 500. And the reason that we're going higher and higher and higher, the reason that I want to get up to good altitude, is because at an altitude, at high altitude, like 15,000 feet where I'm aiming for, the plane will actually go through the air faster because there's less air, which means there's less air resistance. It all boils down to very, 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 very basic physics. If there's less, the higher you go, the less air there is. The less air there is, the less air there is to push against the plane and to slow it down. On the flip side, the less air there is to feed the engines, which they need air to breathe. They are air-breathing engines. These aren't turboprops. They don't compress air. And the less air there is for the propellers to push against. So there is a trade-off as you get up higher and higher and higher. And, with turboprops in particular, something like an ATR-72 or a Dash 8, or the stuff that you can see like Aer Lingus, Flybe. Who else flies Dash 8s around Ireland, the UK? Aer Lingus, Flybe. They're really the big two that would fly turboprops. BA fly a few, but they're very rare. They prefer flying small jets. So you really, there is a maximum height at which a turboprop can go, and it's somewhere in the region of, 26,000 feet. Just because if you get up high enough, there's not enough air for the propellers to push against. My slippers were annoying me. I had to fix them. Crazy 8s. Yeah, you love the Dash 8s, Traff, if you're still here. I can't remember all the airlines that fly turboprops. I know there's more than just the two. Air Aran did, but I think they're now just branded as Aer Lingus. Actually, Stobart Air. Stobart fly almost exclusively ATRs. And I suppose Dashes. Austrian. Well, I'm talking about Ireland and the UK, Traff, not Austria. I know Austrian fly the Dash 8s. I mean, if you want to get fancy, Qantas Link. It's about as far from Ireland and the UK as you can get. You know, Alaska. Air Alaska will fly some Dash 8s. Widerøe, yeah, they do. Air Greenland fly... Well, they fly Dash 7s and Dash 8 200s. 1 and 200s. That's Alaska, yes. Or actually Alaskan, not Air Alaska. Air Alaska is a different company. Once we get to 13,000, I'm going to call that a climb. We're going to be good to go from there. And we'll level off, pick up some speed, and get into a cruise. Sets alt hold now at 13,000 feet, which, as you see, has just brought the vertical speed indicator down to 0, actually below, just so we can descend a small bit. And now we are going to see our airspeed, which is this indicator here, start increasing. As I've seen that weird thing where it wobbles again. Airspeed is now going to start increasing slowly. In fact, I can cause it to increase a bit faster just by increasing RPM and exposing more of the propeller to the air. Have I ever crashed? Many times. I crashed just last week, PS4. I managed to get a Cirrus 50 into a dead flat spin that I couldn't recover from, and I still have no idea how that happened. So our ETA is now 6:44 Zulu, 7:44 our time, or my time actually. And what's my fuel flow? 15 gallons per hour. I have half a tank, which isn't going to be enough fuel. Also, I crashed on I did also crash on a taxiway, yes. This actually landed fairly well. The Baron 58, simply because it's a low wing aircraft. I struggle a bit more with high wings like the Cessna, because they provide lift in a slightly different way at low altitude, and they get ground effect much lower down. This plane will get ground effect much higher up. Also, if you're wondering what this is flight physiconomy. Come to America! That is in a very long time random in the GA World Tour. If you put in exclamation mark route, you'll see the current route for the tour. And it's looking like it's going to be a single leg day today, just heading to Algiers, and we'll hop into something a bit faster next week. Or possibly over the weekend if I feel like doing some explains to the farm sim, and head to Tunis and then on to Malta. Once we land in Tripoli, that's going to be the end of a stream. I don't care what stream it is, that's going to be the end of it, because the leg after Tripoli is flying the entire length of Libya, even, and the entire length of Chad to get to N'Djamena, the capital of Chad. And that's like a 3,000 kilometer, what is the length of this? 2,300 kilometer leg. So that's going to be in the first leg that we do in the Challenger 300 that I have. Have I ever gone to America in real life? No. Teach you the Cirrus. But the Cirrus jet that's really easy to fly. Traff, literally start the engine on that thing. Battery on, engine on. Ta-da, your engine started. That's how easy the Cirrus jet is to fly. Talking about route? What do you mean talking about route? The Sirius? Do you mean how to use the autopilot in the Cirrus jet? It's a G1000. That's pretty easy to use. You don't do GA. I can teach you actually using this autopilot, because this is it's supposed to be a Garmin 530, but it very similar to one in the... no, it's completely different actually, isn't it? You come along on a 787. Why don't you fly a bloody 737? Because I'll be flying a Challenger 300, which actually can do about similar speeds to a 73. Be one of the legs that I do actually have a twin jet for. And hopefully I don't end up on a GA runway again. After the minor incident with the 737. What happens if I reduce this? That's possibly a bit too low. Yeah, it's a bit too feathered. Let's get my RPM to about 2,500. There we go. We'll pull the mix back a bit. Here we go, that's a cruise. Hey, Chad. a good cruise setting there. We're using 12 gallons of fuel per hour per engine, 24 gallons total, but we got... what if I close the cowl flaps? How does that affect the engine? That rockets up the... What if I were to have the cowl flaps like roughly half closed? It looks to be holding the temperature now. Let's just open them up for safety. The Airbus A380, they're terrible. Is this multiplayer? No, this is single player. I'm not confident enough to go on VATSIM for this just yet. Can we get some beverages in first class? I don't think there's much of a first class in this plane. It's just 4 seats. Dr. Pepper, please. I cannot stand Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper tastes terrible. Also, I feel dirty. I'm having actual full fat, full sugar Coke, which to me just tastes of syrup, but it's a drink. Fun fact, actually, just while we're cruising here, I was in Cork for something or other. I can't even remember what. It was the time that we went karting for my birthday. No, it was no, it wasn't the time we went karting. It was the time that we tried to go karting, but the track was already booked by an actual race, and we ended up going to watch Cannonball Ireland instead. We were at a shopping centre there. And Pepsi had this little tent set up outside. You know, can you taste the difference between Pepsi Max and Coke? Or because they didn't want to say Coke, it was like another leading brand. It was blatantly Coke because I could taste the bloody syrup. It's like, which one's Pepsi? Which one's Coke? Well, that's Pepsi Max because it doesn't taste of syrup. It also tastes quite nice because I like Pepsi. Have I just increased the range? Yes, I have. No, this way. Heading to Gonza right now. We're 22 minutes out from Gonza. I think our ETA is just 1834. That's significantly longer than I was expecting, honestly. We are, however, going to, because we're only in a prop plane, I'm going to drop down very quickly and just bypass any arrivals. Procedure that I presume a major international airport does not have an arrivals procedure. Does it at least have an approach? It does. It's got ISO 92327. What? What kind of weird layout does this airport have? Why though? Hey Hodge, why? That gives me that is an atrocious airport layout. Is that actually real? Is that what the real airport layout is? Where's Algiers? The airport's gonna be just outside it. Oh god, it is real! Oh god, oh, it's even uglier in real life. Also, is there like a GA area? Pond 9 would be a good idea. Parking Sud wouldn't be too bad idea. GA maintenance. I'm just looking for parking spots at the real life airport right now. I would guess yeah, beside Apron Papa 14 there's what looks to be a GA area. Although I might have to pop into Apron Papa 14 to reload at a later date. What's bad about the design? I mean, most airports would just intersect runways like this instead of having them go, hey! It looks like it was designed by a drunk man just going, hey! This is the airport design. What does GA mean? It is general aviation, which usually and traditionally means small single or twin engine propeller planes, but can be expanded upon to mean small jets like the Cirrus jet. Business jets can be regarded as GA. In fact, even 737s and 747s can be regarded as GA if you buy from Boeing Business Jets. Which I don't think Traff knew. It gets worse, Matt. They're actually called BBJs. Second one was probably an afterthought. Let me just look. Oh, you might have a point there, because I'm looking here on runway 06. Actually, on Google Maps, oh, that's really cool. Runway 06 on Google Maps is closed. Because they were resurfacing it recently. And it's not a commercial airliner. Pretty much, yeah. Anything not being owned by a commercial airline. You can run GA aircraft commercially, like there are people who fly Beechcraft Barons and Piper, even Piper Cubs, something that small, commercially, but they usually run at like half of the fuel cost or something like that, and then a bit extra for pilot costs. They're very rarely run at like a huge level, multiple aircraft operation, which is what isn't GA. GA is basically something that you can fly into pretty much any airport around the world. Hey, Volstrop. There are a few airports that, like, I don't know if it's on the no times for this airport actually, which I'll be ignoring, by the way. INS coordinates. Wow. That shows the quality of aircraft flying in there, that it's got INS coordinates. Let's have a look at the airport info here. Runway 23, approved 23 operations, special aircraft, VMC, both may be used simultaneously. There doesn't seem to be any exclusions to aircraft. Bloody INS coordinates. I mean, usually with parking stands you get the coordinates kind of in a little table here, but for some reason this airport decided, no, we're gonna have them separate. Have I gone to Texas in the game? Don't think so. Yeah, I'll take Class Alpha. That's brilliant. I am actually reading these. So 200 minims, 504 if ALS out. 100 foot for Cat 2, 200 for traditional. Okay, so minimums are going to be about 200. That's fine. Hey, Larry lad. That was actually me gathering information on the arrival. Just then, if you're wondering what on earth I was reading all that for. These are not synced. Why are the props not syncing? Because the right prop is running a slightly higher RPM, so if I just bring that down the tiniest bit, they should sync. Perfect. Hey, Lee. So, fun fact, I can't actually see what my ETA is, so I'm going to have to keep bringing up OBS periodically just to see where we're at. 1833 Zulu. Wonderful. Winds seem to be behaving with us today. Ground speed of 178. Oh god, the winds are definitely with us. Good lord. If I bring up... not X-RAS, terrain radar. It's actually a crosswind, 338 a day. That's kind of surprising. Also, I forgot to... where am I flying to? I am flying to... Algiers. I've forgotten the name of the airport already. It is... Houari Boumediene Airport in Algiers. And I've probably butchered that name horrifically, but it's the main international airport in Algiers. Which is in Algeria, if you're wondering. And the next leg of this trip is actually going to be the first leg that's entirely in Africa. From Algiers to Tripoli. We're going to be in Africa for a while in this tour. The first meme leg of the tour is actually also going to be in Africa between... if I bring up the route map, it is between... it's between the Congos, between the Republic of the Congo and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Or Congo-Brazzaville and Congo-Kinshasa, because Maya Maya International Airport in Brazzaville is just across the river from Aeroport de Ndolo, which is in Kinshasa. And I'm going to fly something stupid between these two. I'm going to fly like a Piper Cub and just go visual flight rules, because it's literally cross river and you're there. You just cross the Congo River and you're there. So there's going to be something ridiculous flowing between those two. Is this an airport too? No, that's just a very oddly shaped building. See, Hayden? That's a takeoff and land leg. All legs are takeoff and land legs. But the meme legs I will be using city aircraft with. So Piper Cubs, something from... I did see one on the Explain forum that's like from 1902 or 1904 or something. I will be using just incredibly silly by modern standard aircraft. And for those of you that follow the channel regularly, yes, one of them will in fact be the crop duster. One of them will be the jet-powered crop duster, because that is available on the Explain forum. Because that needs to be in at least one leg of this tour, the jet-powered crop duster. The PZL Belfegor M15, which just... it doesn't look like it should fly. Probably because it shouldn't fly. It's quite probably the ugliest aircraft that ever did exist. Come on, Alien flights, use Zebo. I'm half tempted for one of them to use where is it? Oh, does it not? Oh. I'm half tempted to use like a 747, or if I go into the old versions. Where is it? Not the MD-82, but I could have. There we go, the KC-10. Also known as the DC-10. Yeah, that's tempting for one of the meme legs. Got any Tupolevs? I can get one or two. I can get a Tupolev or two. Very difficult to find Eastern European GA, actually. So helicopter, that's the one thing that will not be involved in the tour is a helicopter, because I cannot fly them. I do not understand how to fly helicopters. So we're 10 minutes out from Gonza. He's still shouting about the pitot. Well, I can turn off the pitos. No, the pitos need to stay on, but I can turn off problem with shield heat. What else can go off here? The flood and panel lights. The panel lights can stay on because they're actually vaguely useful. Defrost. We're actually flying through air that is currently minus 10 degrees Celsius. Or for those of you using freedom units, 15 freedoms. Also, as I asked earlier to open the window, there you go. Now you can't hear a damn thing, and let's close it again. I will open the window when we're on the ground, though. I died. Actually, the air at 13,000 feet is quite breathable. Very thin, but you can breathe it. You can kind of do okay. Around the 10,000 feet barrier, you're okay. Much higher than that, like 20,000 feet, you've got maybe 30 seconds. 30,000 feet, you've got 15-ish. And much higher than that, and you're in big trouble very quickly. Before you start suffering from oxygen starvation of the brain. 13,000 is fine. That's about the same height as Mount Everest, if memory serves. Plus, while the air might be thin, it would be rushing in through the window here, so it would actually be fine. Wait, what's... There's an invisible control going on here. Hey, Chris. How are we now? This is an unfortunate leg because most of it is going to be out over the water. Everest is 29. Oh. I'd crash into the side of Everest then at this altitude. Making progress. I'd say slowly, but we're going 140 knots. Indicated 179 along the ground, so that's actually not terrible. The other thing, oh, sweet, dude. Yeah, That's good to hear, dude. The other the secret thing. I thought you were talking about me. Yeah, the secret thing. That's good to hear you're making progress with it, dude. Did you, I'm gonna talk farms in briefly, because this is, unfortunately, a bit of a... There's strobes off in taxi vicinity of other craft during flight through cloud, fog or haze. All standard lights to be on for all night. Oh, it does actually say you're supposed to... That's kind of neat. This airplane must be operated as a normal category airplane in compliance with the operating limitations stated in the form of placards, markings, etc. and manuals. No aerobatic maneuver, including spins, approved. This aircraft approved for VFR, IFR day and night, nice in flight when equipped in accordance with FAR 91 or FAR 135. That's my flaps extend speed. 15 degrees, 152 KIS. I could actually put the flaps down. I could put the flaps down fully. Never speed is 223 knots. I think we're fine. Also, Traff, thank you very much for letting me know how to set all that up. It's cold. It is cold outside in this plane. It's let's pretend like the heating's on, because I can't actually flip that switch. It's what? 15 freedoms? Yeah, 15 freedoms minus 10 correct in terms of temperature units. Nice clear skies though. If I go to the chase view, well, number one, it gets insanely loud. But number two, there is like no clouds. Let's go back inside. It's quiet. I could put the parking brake on right now. Let's put the parking brake on for no reason whatsoever. So this is going to be quite a long cruise. As ahead, legs, all good. All there. Imagine there are legs there. How am I? I'm doing good, Mexican. I think you mean in real life. Yeah, they're not sore today. They're behaving themselves for once. I could have wanted to open this door, but I expect there's issues when you try and close them again. And you might notice there is actually no door here. You get in and out of the Baron through that door, even if you're in the left seat here. So this is going to be a one-flight stream, just because it's going to be a quite long flight, quite lengthy in the Baron. We should have the fuel to do it, no problem at all. What time is set, actually? Because I didn't... 1851 local. Why is that then not showing the correct... Oh, it is showing the correct time. Why is it showing at 7 AM? Because you're looking at it wrong, Dave. So what happens when things don't have 24-hour clocks? Why is it showing at 7 AM? Because it's 7 PM and you forgot the clock's that twice a day. And that is tuned to local time, so it will be 7 PM local, actually 8 PM local when we land. Coming up on 9 PM local, so it actually should be pretty dark. There's optics, very nice, Chris. I'm gonna actually get something running that you guys won't be able to see. Mild turbulence. No turbulence, actually. It's just that the plane, for some reason, wants to constantly be adjusting the pitch. I'm not sure why it's doing this, but it's... There's no turbulence, it's just trimming the pitch constantly. So I just turned something on in the hopes that it gets reasonably dark. You can see the moon is out there. The sun behind us should be setting. Let's go to chase view. Yeah, the sun's getting quite low in the sky, so we should get some cool lighting happening. Is it possible to die in this game? I mean, technically whenever you crash, yes. When I'm streaming FS19 again, I take 1 day off! And people ask when am I streaming it again? Tomorrow, Lee. This is the one of maybe 2 days a week that I take off Farm Sim and just play something that I really enjoy, that I can sit back and relax and just have. Basically, these streams are just Q&A, lazy streams where I can chat, you know, talk to you guys and chat. There's no real massive entertainment factor going on here. You know, it's whatever you guys want to talk about, we talk about during these streams, and makes it a bit more fun for me. Still no 10k, still no 10k. Won't be for a while, I don't think. But if you do enjoy X-Plane, come around on a Friday. If you enjoy flight sims or planes or anything, come around on a Friday. Try and fly different planes as much as I can. There is only a limited number that I have, but I do try and fly as much as I can different planes every week. I want to see if I want to try and get the 172 up again fairly soon. If there's a leg that'll allow that to happen. I need to change the course marker. I actually want to fly the Kodiak Quest as well. Remember you? Yes, I do. I was just like, can you see me try and fly? I mean, you can see me crash one. That's all I've succeeded in doing so far, is I took off, flipped over, and died. You think you see a Megalodon in the Mediterranean, Chad? If they do exist, they'll be down the bottom of the because there is a theory that Megalodon still exists. Can you die in this game? Technically, yes. Actually, no. There's no, like, you died screen. There is a you crashed screen, which comes up if you hit the ground particularly hard. But there's no, like, you died. If I get a particularly bad landing, it will say, like, wasted. But there is a theory that Megalodon still exists. It's basically based on the existence of the... oh, what's the name of it? There's the giant squid and then the next squid up from the giant squid that I can't remember the name of right now. Colossal Squid, thank you, man. We're really not pushing this plane too hard at all right now. We've got good fuel flow, good engine temps, good RPMs, good whatever this is. What is this? Manifold. Oh, good manifold pressure even. Good. That hints that I can actually reduce the mix it further. There we go. 10 gallons per hour per engine. What is the point of this game? It is a flight simulator. It simulates flying. That is the point of this game. Looks like autopilot does it all. I could, if I wanted to, turn autopilot off and hand fly. And I will, towards the end of the flight, I will hand fly the ILS. Assuming we're going down an ILS slope. But yeah, autopilot for the most part is what I use. It's actually more autopilot-y in a jet. Like, in a jet you want to be autopilot down to like 1,000 feet, if not less. Some people even say minimums, which is like 200 feet. I like switching off autopilot at 1000. We will be flying. We'll actually be flying on approach. I've just realised we'll be approaching at about the same speed the Cessna cruises. Did I get a haircut? No. Unless the last time you saw me was when I had the stupid long hair, in which case, yes. But I haven't had my hair cut in a little while. Hoping to get it cut in the next, like 6 weeks or so. Which sounds like a long time. Oh, was then yes, I did get a haircut. Hoping to get my haircut in the next, like, several weeks. Once my mother's capable of doing it again, because I don't want to go to a barber and get some random dude cut my hair. So we're at Golfo. Well, we're heading up to Golfo now. We're about, what, 10 minutes away from Golfo? It's a relatively short bit of the flight then to the next waypoint, and then after Carbo, it's quite a long cruise to Mike Oscar Sierra, then a relatively long cruise up to Dara, and then about the same distance again up to Delta Double Alpha Golf. Do I have a like distance here in between these waypoints? Yes, I do. So this is actually the longest leg that we're on now, Gonza to Golfo, by 8 nautical miles. Once we hit Golfo, we'll have travelled 161 nautical miles already, and we'll be roughly at the halfway point. This entire trip is about 428, excluding the approach. And yeah, we got a 40-mile leg then to Carbo, 27-mile leg to Mike Oscar Sierra, which doesn't look correct. No, I was wrong. The Gonza Golfo leg was actually 89 nautical miles. This leg is 40 nautical miles, then 27 to Carbo, 81 to Mike Oscar Sierra, and 71 to Dara, then 85 to the airport. Never been to a barber in your life? Scary stuff. I'll just get it done at home, it's easier. Get a hot sauce on his fingers. So you're at a barber, you could shout out by 70-year-old. Last time I got my hair cut by a hairdresser, we'll say, which will lump hairdressers and barbers into one for this. By somebody who wasn't my mother, was before I went to uni. I'm gonna say like 15, 16 years ago. Hey Sylvan. No bad days here, we're actually in a nice cruise. How old am I? 27? 27. And I'm getting close to the point where I won't need to get my hair cut much more. I'm going bald and I'll just shave it all off. So, just for entertainment's sake, what I turned on a few minutes ago, when I said, oh, I'm going to turn something on that's really cool, is actually a light add-on that I have. It's a little script plugin thingy that just makes lights appear a bit brighter and makes them appear further away. It kills my FPS, but it looks cool. I just need to That's DAG. And we're cruising at 3,000. Auto route will be 490B, just to get a very rough idea. And I'm kind of curious how different. That's not actually too different from my current flight plan. There is actually a no-fly zone over Rome currently, believe it or not. I'm looking at this here. There is a red SIGMET over Rome, which means it's very dangerous to fly. I think you gotta be. I'm really not sure how to read SIGMETs. Top above flight level 390. I think you gotta fly above 39,000 feet above Rome currently. Where am I right now? I am currently. Let me just check. Currently south of Almeria in Spain. We'll be making a right turn in approximately 5 minutes. That'll bring us down and in towards Algiers, towards Mostaganem, I'm not sure. Fly over, be careful. I'm not flying to Rome today, which is kind of lucky. Rome's gonna be one of the meme legs, by the way, because I want to visit the Vatican City as a stop, and there is no airport in the Vatican because it is so tiny. So the plan is I'm gonna land at both airports in Rome and meme leg between the two. There's also going to be a meme leg in Cyprus to fly between North and South Cyprus. How are we doing for fuel now? Because I'm slightly concerned about fuel levels. Quarter tank. That is slightly concerning. Yeah, we should be good. If needs be, I will just reduce everything down so that we can hopefully get basically no fuel flow. Check the bird. No bird strikes in the game, luckily. Well, there are if you have the right planes and you activate them manually, but... doing pretty well to... Is there any weather in the area at all? Not really. There's a bit of weather actually around Algiers today. Bit of rain around Algiers. Quite heavy actually to the east of Algiers. But kind of lucky in that there's not much weather. Over London, however, 4.2 nautical miles north-northwest of Kilo Gatwick. There is heavy turbulence between 5 and 10,000 feet. There's some quite bad clouds and winds there, apparently. Capital size here. Thing is, I could probably actually land this thing on water fairly okay. Just close up every orifice and take in all of the drag possible, which would include just completely feathering the props, which I can do to the left prop just to show you what happens. You can see this now. Let's just kill the left prop temporarily. You can see that with different settings here, it's not going to work properly. With different settings, it'll actually flare out more or less. Let's see if I can get it to start. To air start. Whoa, okay, that's just... Okay, let's get this spinning up again. How lean can I get the fuel before it kills an engine? That lean. So I should get them running lean and fast. This might be a bad idea. There is something down there. Hang on. Is that a boat? That is a boat. There is going to be a problem. I should mention this as well. That there is actually going to be a slight problem over Greenland when we get there, which isn't going to be for a long time. There's going to be a slight problem over Greenland where Greenland doesn't actually exist. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. X-Plane doesn't simulate everywhere, and I may have to change. I have to get rid of one leg entirely to Antarctica because Antarctica doesn't actually exist in X-Plane. And I'm slightly concerned about the little islands I want to hop between on the way to Alaska. I may have to overfly them on like a super jet lag or something. They will be test flown. Because I'm slightly concerned that some of the stops I want to make don't actually exist. I'm presuming the question mark is about Greenland not existing. It's a thing with X-Plane to save memory. Where certain areas are just regarded as being water. The inside of Greenland being one of them. So I can take off at Nuuk and land at I've forgotten the name of the airport on the far side. Sarsawak? I can check my logbook here and check. No. Yes, here, BIKF. BGKK, what is this airport called? It does not say. Hey, Glengar. Oh, Kilo Golf Airport. That is not correct. Kulusuk even, yes, Kulusuk. Which is a gravel airport on the eastern side of Greenland. Kulusuk has, it's recently installed de-icing facilities and actually has a duty-free stand. Air Greenland operate the Dash 7 to the airport. Now Strix, not bad at all. We're just having a bit of a cruise over to Street, as I'm now using more fuel than I was before. Let's get that throttle back to there. There we go. That sounds like a... Actually, this is almost definitely a good cruise setting. We're just cruising over to Algeria today. And the right engine's actually running slightly faster than the left, so let's just cool that down a small bit. Here we go. This should sync up in a second. We've got an ETA of 18330 Zulu, which isn't too bad. About an hour and 20 minutes from now. Excited for Game of Thrones Monday evening, very nice. I probably won't watch it, like, as it happens. I'll probably watch it online at a later point, but I will most likely watch Game of Thrones. Real time or no? Real time! This is all in real time, so it's, Dundee Greenland have an A330? I don't know, you'd have to look that up yourself, Traff. Actually, I could look it up right now, couldn't I? Because it is operated by Air Greenland. Fleet. Fixed wing fleet is an Airbus A330. Why do they have an Airbus A330? One A330, one King Air 200 and 7-8 Q200s. Have they got rid of the old -7s? They must have. They also had a 757. Where are they flying with these? Keflavik, Copenhagen? They must be flying to Copenhagen. I love this. I actually love this line here. Outside Greenland, the airline currently operates transatlantic flights to Keflavik, which is technically transatlantic, even though it's something you could do in a Cessna. They do not know. They've retired the -7s, Traff. According to Wikipedia, the -7s have been retired. Takes an hour. We've been flying for a little over an hour now, I think. Is there any counter on this plane as to how long I've been flying? There is no elapsed time. We've been flying for a little over an hour. In fact, yeah, just a little over. Departed 1708. So, let's say 1600 Zulu. Yeah, an hour and 8 minutes we've been in the air. That's not... It's not all that long of a flight, really, by my usual standards. The engines are refusing to sink. Now they are. Now we're syncing up. Now we got prop sync active. And we're sipping fuel. Which is definitely good because we only got like a quarter tank left. Traff, do you remember how much fuel we had when how much fuel I had in the tank when we were departing? Because it would have been it should have been visible. Might have been visible. So the slight concern now is, do I have enough fuel to make the rest of this flight? I think it was less than half tank. If it was less than half tank, I should have the range. This thing can fly for about 8 hours standard. So even off a quarter tank, I should have about 4 hours of fuel. Or about 2 hours, we'll say. This is my concern, is do we have enough fuel to actually land this? Because I might have to divert. And if I divert... I have no idea where I'd land if I have to divert. It would have to be along this coastline. Does Hajduk have an airport? No. Yeah, maybe actually. No, that's just lime trees. I would like to divert to somewhere that has an airport, so I'm just kind of trying to plan that right now. Problem is I don't know Algeria all that well. Is there an airport near the Roman ruins over here? This might be another job for you, Traff, because I'm struggling to find an airport that is en route between Mostaganem and Algiers. This place is being flagged up to me. Is this an airport over here? No. There's a beach here. There must be an airport somewhere nearby. Not enough. Are you saying I had more than half a tank of fuel? If I have more than half a tank of fuel, I'm very concerned. How's Dave? Slightly concerned by fuel levels. Traditionally, you're saying I did not have enough fuel to begin with. Yes, but where was the pointer, Traff? Traditionally, I fuel these things fully, but I forgot to today for a tour flight. I know that I can get about 10 hours out of a Cessna, so I'm hoping I can do some weird magic with this thing as well. You couldn't really see it. Damn. I'm just gonna run under the assumption we're good for fuel. If we're not good for fuel, I can always just ditch it in the sea. So we're about 25 minutes out from Mostaganem, which is one of the longer legs. And from Mostaganem we're going to... That's not my flight plan. My flight plan is in here. From Mostaganem we're going to the Dara Delta Alpha Hotel Romeo Alpha intersection here, which is going to be another 71 nautical miles. So about 25 minutes of a leg. Then we're off to the airport, which is going to be about half an hour or so of a leg. Probably slightly more. So we're probably about an hour and a half out. Or just over an hour and half, I would say. What is our ETA looking like? 1835 Zulu. So it's saying we're about an hour out. That doesn't seem right to me. That doesn't. The maths doesn't add up there. Although it is dependent on winds. What's the winds like? Right now we're 180 ground speed. That might 1 hour 13. Yeah. I'm presuming you're watching this on Project Fly as well, Traff. On the radar. This is where I start getting concerned that I might have made a huge mistake with this. What do you think of the registration I've given this plane? Which I don't think is showing up on stream. Is it showing up on stream? Yeah, it's not showing up on stream. What do you think of the Project Fly exclusive registration I've given the plane? Project Fly showing the ground speed is 179. What's the winds like? Because this is going to be a big decider. We got a 12 knot tailwind. Yeah. .325 at 12. I say 12 knot tailwind. I mean, it's not directly tail. No, Traff. That's your call sign. Let's turn on the floodlights, just for funsies. What happens if I turn off the boost pumps? Nothing. Good. I might actually save a small bit of fuel, actually. This game is beautiful. All you're seeing is sea. This is the downside of a leg like this, is unfortunately all you get to see is the high altitude sea textures. Once you get into Africa, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what the textures are like around Algeria. Because I've not done a test flight of this leg. There is a boat down there. Is that an aircraft carrier? There is an aircraft carrier down there. If all else fails, we can land on an aircraft carrier. In fact, can I... will this work? One way. I have no idea where this is. This isn't a runway. It's just brought me out to the middle of the desert. What if I choose, now I'm curious. Tower. Well, this is the aircraft carrier I was looking at earlier, but I have no idea where the plane is. Tower. Can I see the plane at all? No. Let's go to the nearest runway. Hello and welcome to the desert. How can I help you today? That is not what I wanted. Let's go to the nearest runway, which should be the aircraft carrier, but no! Just... middle... this is quite... the textures are quite nice, to be fair. Like, let's not knock the textures, they are quite pretty. But this is not a runway, this is just a bit of dirt somewhere. I just realised we should actually be approaching land quite soon. That might be it there. That's Africa for you, yeah, that's true. I do actually plan on landing on a dirt strip in Australia. It's just for Africa, it's quite difficult to find even international airports, so I didn't feel like I had the time or inclination to try and look for interesting dirt strips near the cities I wanted to hit. So I just went to the international airports, some of which aren't open at the moment, like Tripoli. We're going to ignore, you know, major international warfare for the purposes of this tour, as it is very inconvenient. Like Tripoli airport, both airports in Tripoli are closed. They are non-functional because they've been bombed. There is also a leg where I'm planning on flying from north to South Cyprus, which isn't a thing. That's not possible, and I'm just going to ignore that because that's inconvenient. Hey David. As things are good. There's also a leg where I want to fly into Pakistan, which is technically closed currently, which I'm just ignoring because, again, that's inconvenient. So we're going to conveniently ignore a lot of inconvenient stuff. Just for the sake of getting these legs ticked off. Also, the leg in Rome is technically not something that's done. Could I land in Pearl Harbor? I could if I really wanted to. If I had a float plane, I definitely could. Unfortunately, there's no planes that have the range that I could fly to Pearl Harbor from, like, mainland USA and land on the water. There's very few of the big old what are they called? Airboats, I think? Boat plane? Boat planes, that's the word. Hope you're enjoying the swarm of angry bees that is the Beechcraft Baron 58. Don't fly into the Twin Towers. This game released in 2016, so the Twin Towers will not be in New York. Also, I will not be going to New York City, Drew. There is no leg planned for New York City, as it is not the capital of New York State. It's a common misconception that even I made, that New York City is the capital of New York State. No. That honor goes to, if I zoom out on the map, because I can't remember off the top of my head. That is... where is New York on this map? That is Albany. Albany is actually the capital city of New York State, not New York. Despite the fact that the state is literally named New York, New York is not the capital of New York. Likewise, Dallas isn't the capital of Texas, despite so many people thinking it is. It's actually Austin. Like, some people think it's Dallas, some people think it's Houston. It's actually Austin. I thought Seattle was... is Seattle the capital of Washington? I feel like I've got that wrong for Washington. There's a few state capitals I got wrong in the current plan. I need to double check them. Is this my lazy day? This is... yeah, this is my lazy stream day. Because it's basically a stream where I do nothing for a few hours and just talk to chat. Which is the best way to stream. I just wish that the trim wheel would stop doing the wobble, making it look like there's turbulence. There is the African coastline. There it is, wobbling up and down. Good launch. That was an amazing launch. If you didn't see it last night, guys, the Falcon Heavy launched again. Its first commercial launch, second launch ever. And for the first time ever, all three cores made it back down to Earth safely. All three cores have been recovered, as have the fairings, which will be reused. If you didn't know that, Dave, the fairings got recovered, not by Mr. Steven, but there's going to be a Falcon 9 launch with a reused Falcon 9 booster and reused fairings. The only new thing in that launch is going to be the fuel and the second stage. That is going to be an amazing launch. I'm looking forward to it. But the fairings got recovered from the sea. They weren't caught by Mr. Steven, but they were recovered, fished out by the chase ships. Yeah, the next launch of the Falcon Heavy is scheduled for June. Whereabouts am I flying to in Africa? I am heading to Algiers, the capital of Algeria. We're heading to an airport that I can't pronounce. But if I bring up Avitab here, it should have the name. It is... I rotate this another 180 degrees. It is this. Houari Boumediene. Houari Boumediene in Algeria. It's an airport that was designed by somebody going, "Hey!" And that's totally, like, Hey! 4 launches between 26th April and 27th May. Very nice. May get the office lab soon. Hey, MJ! How are you doing today, good sir? That texture work on the African coastline leaves a bit to be desired, but I don't really have very good scenery for Africa. You're extra happy? Oh, does that mean that a certain map passed testing? I didn't check the mod up for a couple of hours. Has it been released even? If so, I might be making a change to tomorrow's plans. It has not been released, but there was a front weight. And a Knife for Williams by one of the guys from Giants Discord. Still testing? Oh. You just happy it's a Friday? Just went in today? Oh, sweet. But if it's in today, that means it'll be tested. Actually, check your dashboard. It might already be tested. If it went into the list today, it might already actually be tested. That list tends to be a bit old. They're testing on average about 12 to 15 mods a day, so the map might already be fully tested. We might already have a testing one day. So it'll be tested Monday then. Sweet! Monday or Tuesday you'll get your results of that test and hopefully it'll pass. It's had its obligatory fail now. So what's the weather like currently?
Delta Alpha Alpha Golf Airport information November 1630 Zulu weather wind 221 at 6 visibility 10,000 sky condition 2,000 scattered few clouds at Delta Alpha Alpha Golf Airport information November 1630 Zulu weather wind 229er at 6 visibility 10,000 sky condition 2,000 scattered few clouds at 2,600 temperature 19er dew point 13 QNH 1016 advise on initial contact you have information November.
Okay, so listening to that sounds like we'll be taking runway 23. Shut up. Sounds like we'll be taking runway 23, which will mean we'll actually need to fly over the airport for about 20 miles or so out to the Zamuri VOR, and then we'll head inbound at 269 radial, or outbound from that at the 269 radial, whatever, to hit 8.9 DME from the airport, or 10.9 from the airport. The Darius Beta VOR is actually located in between the runways. 8.9 out from the ILS, okay. Inbound then on the 232 radial of Darius Beta. And we'll take the ILS at 110.3, so let's just tune this into our nav stack here. So VLOC 1 is going to be 110.3. Set that up. Swap to that. And our nav 2 we're going to set as 112.5. And if I set this to be nav 2, we should get some information coming through about that in time. Still quite a distance out. So the winds might change in the meantime. It's just a good idea to have a basic plan right now, and we can replan as we get closer. Once we get to Dara, this waypoint here is when I'm going to be making my final approach plans. Because then we'll only be 80 nautical miles out. We'll need to start descending at some point, and I want to go on a 500 foot per minute descent, which is quite slow. Shouldn't affect our speeds too much. Shouldn't need to be retrimmed or anything. Just notice the gas temperature is hilariously high. Can I open the cowl or close the cowl flaps and reduce that? So good news, we definitely have enough fuel, so let's reach up the mixtures and hopefully reduce the exhaust gas temp. There we go, there it goes down. With the engines running a bit too lean. That's fine, we can increase fuel flow to 15 gallons per hour. We definitely have the fuel to do that. And just have a look at this again. I'm gonna want to be at 5,000 feet at the Zemuri VOR, and then the ILS intercept is at 8.9 from ALR at 2,260 feet. How do you set 2,260? So we're going to try and intercept at about 2,300 feet, because that's about as close as I can get. Or 2,000 feet, whichever. Is there any need to be worried about terrain on this ILS course? No, not really. Highest peak is 2,067, but that's about 12 miles off course, so that is not a concern. Oh, hang on a second. Transition altitude. Does Algeria use meters? Is that why? Is that why these measurements are weird? That's 688 meters, that's still an odd number. Does Algeria use meters? Yeah, it's a 3.5 kilometer runway. We will not have any issues stopping. Want to try and aim at exiting Echo 2, maybe Echo 1 if I have a late touchdown. And we're going to be parking up at... where's the fuel farm? We're going to park up at Papa 15 or Papa 15, which does mean that we'll have to taxi the entire length of the airport more or less to get over there. That's where I want to park up. That's what looks to be more of a GA area to me. And yeah, 3 minutes away from the Mike Oscar Sierra VOR. Which is sweet. Do I have? Clearly, I do. Just the one leg tonight. Yeah, it's. I kind of miscalculated this leg horrifically, and as a result, we're still, according to Project Flight, 55 minutes out from the airport. So it's still going to be the better part of an hour before we even think about touching down. Our ETA slipped to 6:37 Zulu, which is 7:37 Irish time. So slightly less than an hour from now. It's actually going to extend slightly from that. So yeah, we're not going to be making any real attempt to do a second leg, because the next leg is about the same length. Hey, Zombie Key! So this leg that we're doing today is, if I go over here, just like Gibraltar so that it fling the map up. This is a 769 kilometer leg. The next leg is actually 626 kilometers, so almost as far. And then the leg over to Malta is only 397. That is one where I might use a Cessna. But because of the length of the leg today and the fact that I'm doing it in quite a slow plane that I actually thought was a lot faster, we are only going to do the one. But it's good to have these slower legs from time to time, in my eyes, because it's a bit more true to the GA nature of it. You know, not every leg is going to be super fast, and there are going to be a couple of legs that, you know, the streams could be anything up to 6-7 hours, especially the legs to Hawaii. They're going to be actual long hauls. Well, medium hauls as regards the technical term, but they're going to be long haul by my standards, you know, several hours. So there'll be streams that start super early, and if you're tuning in, we'll say at about this time, we'll possibly be getting ready to land, but yeah, we'll be mid-air, even at 5 o'clock, my usual starting time. Nice chilled streams. That's kind of the aim, is just like, this is the day that I just do the stream that I really, really want to, just chilling out and talking to you guys in chat, and not needing to worry about too much. Like, there is obviously going to be a bit that I need to worry about, but where's our intercept here with the GPS course? Is it really that far off? No, that's not correct. It's saying we're slightly off course still. We are now, as you can see, over Africa. We are flying over land. And there is a bit of cloud, so we might actually get some actual turbulence, not this fake turbulence. The sun is going down slowly behind us. The moon is rising slowly ahead of us. And we should be good to get a decent landing in today. Might be a bit of a twilight landing, and it will be potentially a landing. In fact, it will almost definitely be landing into the setting sun, which is kind of cool. Just looking at the heading of the runway is going to be you know, nearly directly behind us, so we're going to be flying in the exact opposite direction for landing. And that's still going to be in about an hour from now. The trim wheel is... I've given up on the trim wheel. Fuel levels are good. I'm no longer concerned about fuel. In fact, the fuel boost pumps can come back on. We can increase the RPM a bit. Get a bit of extra speed out of it. And once we get to, as I've said, once we get to Dahra, Delta Alpha Hotel Romeo Alpha, we will be starting to plan our descent into Algiers. That is our last planned waypoint. That is gonna be the point where I need to make a decision on where we're going after that. There's no arrival procedure into the airport, it is just straight onto the approach, and I will need to kind of brief that around the Dara area. I am still planning the 2-3 ILS. If the winds are different by the time we get to Dara, I will replan, I will potentially swap to runway. The winds won't do a 90-degree swap, so we won't be... You know, we won't be planning 09 or 05. It'll either be 2-3 or 2-7, just depending on which is favouring the winds more. 2-7 would actually be more ideal, as there'll be a shorter taxi afterwards. But I want to land as much into the wind as possible, so right now we're planning a 2-3 arrival. If the wind changed slightly by, we'll say 20-30 degrees, if they're blowing 2-5 or more, or 250 or more, we will swap over to runway 27 and plan an arrival there. So I want to just get up the ILS for 27 as well, which is most likely going to be the same. Yeah, it's going to be the same point. So if I just put in Zamuri into the flight plan, because we're almost definitely flying there. So if I just plan Zulu Echo Mike, no, not Zephyr. If we plan the Zulu Echo Mike VR, that'll bring us right up to where we experimental procedure. That'll bring us right up to where we need to be. And with 103 nautical miles in between Dara and Zamuli, we can plan at any point between those 2 points. I don't anticipate needing, but we'll bring them up just in case. The ILS for 09, and is there an ILS for 05? No, there's only a VORDME, so I'm going to rule out runway 05 immediately. 09 is also via Zamuri, so yeah, all approaches are seemingly via Zamuri. The 09 ILS brings us out by Daras Bay, straight over the airport, over the runway directly, and then out a 316 radial from the Semar NDB to relocate about 9 miles out from the airport, 6.8 from the threshold, onto the ILS slope. That'll bring us in. So these are the two main plans, is 2-3 and 2-7. If needs be, 09, I'm going to rule out 05 because that's just not going to be convenient. I like precision approaches, I don't like non-precision approaches. So we will be overflying the airport for sure, at least once. And that'll be on the way to the Zamuri VOR. From Zamuri, then we will execute our approach to the airport. And I'll need to be at 5,000 by Zamuri, by the way. And there's no altitude hold in this airplane, so I'm going to have to manually slow the descent down once we get near 5,000 feet. There is, however, an approach mode I didn't notice on the autopilot, which is good. That's what we need. And yeah, we should be good for pretty much everything now. Look at this as a plane where the ILS will actually appear on the, or the ILS slope will appear on the artificial horizon here, which is perfect. Makes it a bit easier to fly an ILS. We should be, 50 nautical miles out from Dara right now. I'm going to grab further weather information at Dara. And again, about 50 nautical miles out from Zamuri. At 50 nautical miles from Zamuri is when I'm going to begin the descent. Do I need far more than that? I need to drop 7,000 feet times 3. 7 3s are 21. So yeah, I'll need about 21 nautical miles. Yeah, so about 50 nautical miles from Zamuri is when I need to be planning what descent we're gonna, what arrival we're gonna be using. I can change it right up until Zamuri, but I'll need to start my descent about 21 nautical miles out. I'm going to start about 23 nautical miles out. My phone is ringing. With a number from Mozambique. I'm actually not kidding. I am actually serious. Somebody in Mozambique just tried ringing me. That sounds like a scam. They're watching me. I'm not even near Mozambique. Mozambique is in Southwest Africa. ATC trying to contact me. Possibly. Do I know anybody who's in Mozambique currently? I don't think so. Might actually know somebody who's in Mozambique currently. Hang on. Legitimately checking if a friend of mine is in Mozambique. I am guessing not, because it doesn't say so on Facebook. So let's just do a real quick weather check here. I somehow changed the frequency there.
Delta, Alpha, Alpha, Golf, airport information. Papa 1630, Zulu, weather, wind 229 at 6, visibility 10,000, sky condition 2000, scattered, few clouds at 2600, temperature 192.13, QNH 1016, advise on initial contact, you have information. Papa.
So what that told me is runway 23 is almost perfect for
Delta,
winds.
Alpha, Alpha, Golf, airport information. Papa 1630.
What that told me is runway 23 is almost perfect for the winds. As runway 23 is, let's do 232 degrees. The winds are 229 degrees. Slight, only slight. I could land runway 29 if I wanted to, but like with both runways being 3.5 kilometers, it doesn't matter which one I want to land on. They're both going to be equally good. So yeah, just continue with the plan as is for now at least. And the sun is beginning to set, which means the light add-on I have is going to start kicking in relatively soon. Those little mountains down there are adorable. You guys can chat, by the way. You don't need to sit here just saying nothing because I'm nattering on about a planned arrival and stuff like this. You, just tag me in Giants Discord. This is my life, as somebody's tagged me somewhere. Who's done this? Been enjoying the stream? It's a stream that I think a lot of people don't give a chance to, like flight sim streams, because sure, the only two really interesting bits, I'll be honest, even for me, are takeoff and landing. That's where stuff can go really, really wrong really quickly. But the real appeal to the flight sim streams for me, other than being able to share my enjoyment of X-Plane and of flight sims, is that I can sit back and just basically have the game running in the background while I chat to you guys. That's the appeal of the streams to me. Is, you know, I can show what little knowledge I do have and just enjoy chilling out, chatting with you guys. It's a nice break from feeling as if I've got to do something interesting every day in Farm Sim. Because let's face it, Flight Sim is a boring game inherently. It's something that just literally drones on if you're flying a prop. It's just nice to sit back and relax and have that drone going on while we're going. And the Project Fly overlay that I've got running now is, I think, a big improvement to the presentation of the stream. Also, just noticed the progress bar is hidden. Let me just fix that. It's still bloody hidden. I need to change that setting. Hang on. Just gonna change an overlay real quick. Let's change that from light blue to... How does red look? Ooh, that looks pretty. I like that. There we go. You can see the little progress bar on top now. Is my mouse visible so that I can point it out? See, look! Little progress bar. So we started all the way over here, and we're now here. And we'll end up over here. Current ETA is 1839 Zulu, which is 20 minutes to 8 BST. Or IST, as I am it. Found me through FS17. I helped you out amazingly on that. I am surprised because I'm terrible at Farm Sim. I'm terrible at every game. There's just some games that I'm slightly less terrible at. I do not claim to be good at games. We're only 38 minutes out from our alleged arrival. We are going to be slightly longer than that. It's going to be about 45 minutes before we actually touch down. Because we still, you know, we're flying at 140 knots. I want to be touching down closer to 80. So we do have a lot of speed to bleed off. We've got a lot of altitude to bleed off as well. Airport elevation is only about 82 feet, so we got 12,000 and... what, 12,011 feet to bleed? No, 12,018 feet to bleed off while bleeding off speed. The aircraft will need to be configured. I will need to do the approach correctly, and we should be good. I do at the moment 1174. There's something about planes that I just love inherently and find inherently interesting. And you know, the Farm Sim streams haven't been doing well recently, and I expect those to do well. I don't expect these streams to do well. I expect them to be much quieter, but you know, much quieter and I guess much easier to interact with chat with. So like if something's said in chat, I can immediately look at it and say, oh yeah, this is a thing and here's how it works and blah 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 and talk about it for a while. Whereas in Farm Sim I feel like I have to jump from subject to subject as quickly as I can. Just because chat can be mental. And this is, you know, a day off stream without it being a day off. You know, this is a stream where I just sit back and let the game play itself for a couple of hours. And interact with chat as we go on. What I do care to a certain extent about the presentation is not, to me, as important as the presentation of the Farm Sim streams. I feel like I need to be a bit more on the ball with the Farm Sim streams. This is a much more just chillaxed experience. I mean, hell, for a period I was eating midway through these streams. You love flying, you've always wanted to learn how. There's something reassuring about being up so high and seeing so much sheer beauty. Zombie King, if your PC can handle it, I'm assuming you got a PC. If you got a PC, it can handle it. Have a look at X-Plane. Don't get it unless it's on Steam sale. It's worth the money if it's not on Steam sale. But if it's on Steam sale, it's worth. It is so much more worth the money. You get so much better value for money. It's an observation. I know it was just an observation. I've been saying before. I was explaining why. There's a reason. That wasn't me thinking you were criticizing me. I was explaining why I'm a lot more enthusiastic about this game than Farm Sim. It's because there's no pressure. There is zero pressure on me when I'm playing this. I'm doing good. How are you? But yeah, if you're enjoying this, if you want to do this yourself, seriously, get X-Plane. This is this is a base game plane. This isn't like some $20 plane that I bought on the store somewhere. This is base game. You get this straight out. Sure, I do have some payware running right now in the form of ActiveSky. I have no idea, Sean. My cheat was to go on to ETS2MP. Who would know that? Landy might know. You'd want to be asking somebody who actually plays ETS2 a hell of a lot more than me. And somebody who's willing to cheat money in, because I quite like driving the same truck forever in Euro Truck. Much in the same way as I love flying the same planes forever in this. In fact, these streams are a kind of nice break from me, because when I'm just playing this off camera, chilling out, I will do 3, 4, 5, 6 hour flights in a Cessna 172 at 110 knots, 110 knots true airspeed. Try landing. That's probably a better bet. Who I'm presuming is live right now if you want to watch some Farm Sim, by the way. Unless he got completely carried away by Tropico. Should be in Farm Sim. We're going to explain. Yeah, Zombie King, I thoroughly recommend it. If you do get into it, join the Discord actually, Zombie King. Join my Discord. There should be a link in the description somewhere. There's a room in there. I'll set you up to get into the planes room. And if you do end up getting it, myself and Hayden, aka Planebot, and the guys can hook you up with some really, really high quality freeware, including Zebo, which is a Boeing 737, which flies pretty much real to life. Hayden prefers a different version himself. And I believe Zebo is actually working on a 737 MAX, which comically isn't flying. The less said about the MAX, the better. But there's some really high quality freeware out there for X-Plane, and some spectacular quality payware, and some terrible quality payware. I'm not going to pretend like, paying for something is a golden bullet to get something good. No, some of it's terrible. Looks like my Discord page is down. Oh, that bloody Discord and me is broken. Yeah, hang on, I'll send you an invite. That's Sims Discord? No. Let's create an invite for here. Edit link. Never. Generate. No, that is... No, I've just copied that now. I would eventually paste this. There we go. There's an actual working Discord link. First attempt was pasting in the airport code for Kudasuk. Second attempt was copying that airport code for Kudasuk. If ever you thought I'm vaguely competent, I have some very bad news for you. We're probably we're within an hour of the airport now, in theory. In fact, Project Flight's saying about 31 minutes. I'm going to want to start planning descent fairly soon. Am I? I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to be flying along at 5,000 feet for a little while. I will lose some ground speed, but I can keep the airspeed up, so I think I will start descent over Dara. Down to 5,000 feet. We're... oh, good lord, okay. Slightly becoming concerned... oh, hey! The DME is working. We're 88 miles away from the airport, so we're going about 20 miles out the other direction. That is sweet that we now have our DME working. 30 minutes direct to airport, currently, at 173 knots ground speed. Which does mean we actually have a bit of either a crosswind or tailwind, or headwind even. It should actually be a tailwind. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure why our airspeed's dropped. Probably because I've retuned the plane slightly. And there's the Tarnatara. What I'll do is I'll start going down at 500 feet per minute. That is significantly more than 500 feet per minute plane. That's significantly less. That'll do. And we'll start cruising our way down now towards the Zamuli VOR. I'm not going to retune anything just yet in terms of props or mixture. That can come later on in our descent. I can get out a small bit faster than that. There we go. You never said you were working today, Aiden. I just wanted to thank you a lot in Discord. Let me just manually give you the flight sim. Actually close up the cowl flaps a bit. Break time, very nice. Just in time to, how long is your break? Because we're about half an hour out from landing. Well, probably closer to 45 minutes, because we're in descent. "10 minutes, you're not going to see a landing." Although we might get a good... yeah, we've got a good ground speed going because I'm just not... I'm not trying to slow the plane down yet. Your lunch is at 2 till 3. Ah. Fix our course and heading bugs real quick. We can zoom in the range a bit. So once we're at about 50 nautical miles, then I'll make final plans for arrival and approach. It's a Good Friday next week. Taking the way to see... oh, I'm jealous, dude. I want to go. I want to see Concorde. One of the few words in English that is just like... yeah, sure, random dude, just add me on Project Fly. I didn't know it was Easter next week. Oh. Oh. my sister's birthday on Tuesday. I forgot. It's fine though, because I have a gift planned. Is it worth me planning the approach now?
Delta Alpha Alpha Golf Airport information Romeo 1630 Zulu weather wind 229er at 6
I'd like
visibility
1700 Zulu weather if
10,000
possible.
sky condition 2000 scattered few clouds at 2000.
But yeah, we're gonna go procedure, approach, and the ILS-23 via Zmouli, and activate. So now we're inbound direct Zmouli, which is where we were anyway, but now we're actually on the approach, technically. Gonna go see the Scottish Air Museum. I didn't know they had one up there. So I want to be leveling out at about 5,000 feet. So we got a long bit ahead of us on this descent because I am only doing it slowly. Let's start configuring this plane for actual landing. Let's get the landing lights on. Taxi light shouldn't go on until I got the gear down, so that'll go on when I'm on short final. The ice lights are completely unnecessary. And we will be making a lovely sunset landing in Algiers this evening, as the sun is setting in real life outside. About 30 miles from Edinburgh, North Berkshire. I had no idea that there even was a Scottish Air Museum, to be honest. Never mind that they had a Concorde. So yeah, making a nice slow descent. Also, just for funsies, if you are on Project Fly, if you got your own flight, if you got a flight sim and you are on Project Fly, feel free to add me. My username on that is Rainbow Dave, same as on here. So, if you ever see Rainbow Dave flying around in a Cessna 172, that's me doing FS Economy flights again. I will, going through 5,000 feet, and actually, just as I'm leveling off, want to change the QNH to whatever the local Algiers, Quarry, Boumediene, whatever the local airport QNH is. I'm not going to try and keep pronouncing that airport because I have no idea. It's in French, and I'm not good at French. Yeah, I'm going to be needing to change the QNH, which is just an air pressure measurement. It gives a rough altitude reading. Once I get down to the what I'll call the holding altitude of 5,000, so we'll be presumably holding that for quite a while. It's going to be longer than 25 minutes. So I'll be down at 5,000 before 25 minutes are up. So I think your 1060 would run this game, but you'd have to run it at very low settings. You could definitely run it though. It wouldn't, I'll be honest, look as pretty as mine does. Mine's running at quite high settings, and of late I've been getting really quite good frame rates. I say that, it's going to be like, yeah, 39 FPS, 39 to 40 is really good. Project Fly is going a bit ham with the weather reloads. That means that there's probably a new New Aegis.
Delta, Alpha, Alpha, Golf, airport information, Tango,
Tango.
1800,
1800
Zulu, weather, wind, 299 at 8, visibility, 10,000,
299 at 8.
sky condition, few clouds
changing
at
approach.
2,000, few clouds at 2,000,
They're actually changing
600,
approach.
temperature, 17, dew point, 1, Delta, Alpha, Alpha, Golf, airport information, Tango, 1800, Zulu, weather, wind, 285 at 8,
So, new
visibility,
approach.
10,000, sky Delta, Alpha, Alpha,
It's gonna
Golf,
be the
airport
27
information,
approach.
Tango,
Just
1800, Zulu, weather, wind, 299 at 8, visibility, 10,000, sky condition, few clouds at 2,000, few clouds at 2,600, temperature, 17, dew point, 11, QNH, 1016, advise on initial contact, you have info.
016, got it. So yeah, just like kind of half expected, we have had a wind change that suits runway 27 a bit more. I was actually expecting, that's a rare one, I was expecting a wind change and it actually happened. So we can get rid of the 09 ILS, we can get rid of the 23 ILS, we're going with 27 ILS, we can get rid of minimums, I won't need those. So, new plan is Zamuri, take the 223 radial out and head to 11.1 miles out from the end of the runway, or 10.7 out from the Darrell Beta VR, and we'll be good from there. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to halt our descent right now, and I'm going to run off for a second. I'm going to leave the game running, leave everything running, and I'll be back in like 2 minutes. There we go. And every... I take it the sun has set another level while I was gone. Because now everything is red. We are approaching Mount Doom, seemingly. So there we are. Hey, we're showing up on the plate. Good. Fantastic. We can actually resume descent now. I just didn't want to descend down past 5,000 while I was AFK. That would have been kind of a worst case scenario. Because then I'd have to climb and lose speed. So our ETA is probably about 13 minutes from now, so 1836. It's probably going to be closer to 6 to 1840-ish. I'm anticipating another 15-20 minutes in the air before we touch down. But we don't have very long left in this flight at all. As I accidentally stretch every time. Oops. There is the African coast, and aha, wonderful. Some lights. We're gonna get some beautifully lit, I think. Let me just have a look at the run into the airport here on Google Maps. Where's Algiers? There it is. We're gonna get some lighting on the way in. It's actually gonna be very well lit beyond the airport. So there is a main road over there, some sort of motorway. Presumably the one that actually leads to the airport. If we're lucky, we should see the actual airport itself off the right wing, unless we're in a cloud, which we may well be by the time we're passing by it. So you can see now that the airspeed is actually increasing comically, but the ground speed is reducing. This is what air is, well, lack of altitude does, basically. So if I zoom in here, should be 2 airports off the right wing, and no, the ground is obscured by clouds. Getting close to the ground though, which is definitely a good thing. We will need to turn off the, well, we'll need to turn on just some de-icing real quick. Because, yeah, we're definitely in icing conditions currently. It's 0 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So, do need to be a bit concerned about icing with visible condensation. Visible moisture is the term, and clouds are in fact visible moisture, believe it or not. So just need to be a bit concerned about that for the next few minutes. There's a small bit of turbulence as we're hitting the tops of the clouds, but that won't be too big of an issue. And we should be on the ground just before 8 o'clock British time. There is, just off the right wing, Algiers. Or the beginnings of Algiers, I should say. Shining up from the ground. And off the left wing there is water. But that is... in a moment we should see 2 airports. That looks like... no, that's an interchange. The airports should shine up pretty brightly. They're marked in as purple, which means they should have lighting. Also, chat is completely silent. Have you guys all decided to become mutes while I was gone away? Is there some sort of weird agreement been made that you're all just not going to talk anymore? Oh, I might not be able to see the airports because they're going to be running, yeah, going to be running in 0927. But so they might not shine up as much as I'd like to be able to show off. But I do quite like the lighting in this Better Night add-on. You're taking in the views? Yeah, there's quite a nice view. Quite a nice view from up here. A bit cloudy, unfortunately, but very pretty. Very pretty indeed. In fact, if I were to do this, you guys can see the view at the front of the plane. There's Algiers itself, and over there, straight ahead, is the airport. That is our destination. The other two airports that we're passing are not visible, unfortunately. Which means either they're not lit or they're lit but the lights aren't visible from this altitude and this angle. So this is Algiers right here. This big old blob of lights. This over here is the airport just off in the distance. Coming down through 7,700, I might need to descend a bit faster. This plane sounds like the Deutz in the skies. Well, it's got two, I'm gonna say they're probably boxer engines or flat engines, so it is gonna sound a bit rough in the air. We've got enough fuel to land and actually go around a few times. But this light add-on I have, it just really gives an extra bit of life to the ground. Like if I switch it off real quick, I can do that. If I were to just switch this off, like it to me that isn't as appealing as that, where like there's just a bit more color to lights and a bit more depth to them with the add-on turned on, and it just adds that extra little bit. Coming through 7,500, remember we need to stop our descent at 5,000 temporarily to be in line with where we want to be. It looks like my descent path is pretty good. The sky is also very pretty, yeah. I mean, you got that lovely pink hue, and it's actually, you can't see it, but it's more pink behind us because that's where the sun is setting currently. But we'll be landing on this runway here. This is runway 0927, so we'll be seeing this again a bit more closely very soon. Brightens the place up a little. It's actually really nice when it gets properly dark. And these lights actually illuminate areas. Like if I zoom into, let's say, this lighting cluster over here, you can see that there are little areas on the ground being illuminated by the lights. Whereas with it off, they do illuminate the ground, just not as much. And it just kind of, especially on an airport, it's going to be like the real highlight of this for me is at airports. Because it just makes the airport itself a bit more visible. I feel like the seating position in this is a bit low. This feels like a much more natural seating position. So there, up ahead, is our runway 0927. We'll be landing over here somewhere and rolling our way down. We'll be parking up. Where will we be parking? We're parking up around here. You can see the taxiway lights lit up in green. Touchdown zone lights in kind of a whitey orangey colour. Yeah, we'll be touching down probably here-ish before this intersection and taxiing over to there to park up and finish off the stream. So we're down below 7,000. I'm just going to get the local QNH set. 1016 hectopascals. Can't remember what QNH stands for, but it's basically an altimeter calibration reading. We are going to keep our de-icing on pretty much for the entire descent. Like, the temperature is rising in theory once it gets above 10 degrees Celsius. I could actually turn it off now. Kind of out of the real danger zone for icing, but I'm going to keep it on until we land. Boost pumps on. We're going to start setting this thing up to land. Mix full rich, props full rich. Props full, so we're going to speed up a bit, and we're going to be using the throttle now to control the speed of the aircraft. And use an oak field none today. Send a bit more. That is stunning. Ramada Grove. Also none. Mainly because I'm not playing Farm Sim. $6,400. We're going to want to level out of 5, remember? And we're going to get to 5 before we get to the Zamuli VOR. Oh, good. We'll be good to land. Maybe. The only thing I'm concerned about is that X-Plane won't load in the bloody ILS, which it does occasionally. Sometimes it just refuses to load the ILS up. So I might have to hand fly this in entirely. In fact, if I tune this into 1095, I should get some indication from the ILS. Hopefully, some indication from the ILS. Let's zoom in a bit more. So let's pull some throttle out. That's just reducing the fuel going into the engine. Don't want to be cruising too fast like this. You're quite low, air is quite dense. Could cause issues with the plane. 5,500. 5,004. Three, 2, slowing descent now, just so that it's a bit more manageable. Take 5,000 near exactly. I don't necessarily need to be bang on 5,000 feet, just close enough. 5,100 and 5,000 altitude arm. Now, because we're no longer descending, I need to just throw in a bit more extra throttle. I shouldn't need to firewall at this altitude. Don't mind going a bit slower than is necessary. Maybe not that slow, so let's just throw a bit more in. And now we're waiting to hit the Zamuli VR in about 5 minutes time. It's getting rather dark rather quickly. Once we hit Zamuli, we're going to take our first notch of flaps. Once we're... no, we don't really need to until we're actually on ILS. We'll deploy full flaps for this landing. And shouldn't be too big of a drama. So once we hit their CI-27 is where I'll be swapping over into approach mode, which is this button here. Do not want to be using BC or nav. I'm currently on nav. I want to be hitting approach mode to engage the ILS, which conveniently is alive. That is good news. Just spotted the nav2 is after deciding it wants to liven up, and I could use nav2 for the ILS actually. That wouldn't be a bad call. The ILS is what, 223? No, it's 271. So let's just get this lined up here. 271. And I'll get my heading bug onto 271 as well. There we go. That is just so that I know when I am lined up with the runway. Shouldn't need it, but it'll be convenient. And this is the boring part where we're flying low and relatively slow. We'll be slowing ourselves down once we get to the course intercept and final intercept in order to land this bird, but going to be continuing at this speed at this altitude for a little while. Just so that everything is aligned correctly. Once we hit Zamuli, we will actually be going into a further descent down to roughly 2,300. Might try and hit 2,200. I'll be below glide slope, but that'll be fine. It's not a big deal. So the turn at Zamuli will be coming in 1 minute 20 seconds. And once we deploy the gear, we'll be switching the taxi light on. We'll need that to taxi, because once we land, the strobes and landing lights will be coming off. So now the ice light, just so the wing is illuminated a bit. Makes absolutely no difference to performance. Okay, less than a minute to Zamuli. Now I'm making our intercept turn. In fact, on the intercept turn, I could, in theory, activate approach mode, but that wouldn't be the greatest idea. So, there's our turn. We'll start descending again. And pull back the throttles. Luckily with my throttle quadrant, both throttles are linked because I only have one actuator for it. I got the one lever for throttle. We'll be going down to 2,200 now in order to intercept the ILS. Shouldn't need to be going much faster than 500 feet per minute down. We should, after this turn here, be able to see the airport, and you can see that we're not lined up for 2.3, we're lining up for 2.7, which is slightly farther to the south. And yeah, let's activate approach mode. So hopefully this won't throw us massively off course. We're going to go off course according to the GPS, but not actually off course. It's at this point that I want to start slowing and get our first notch flaps out for approach. Is it too early to get the first notch flaps out? It is too early to get the first notch flaps out, I think. And for some reason this has gone to the wrong... Yeah, it should actually be 271 up here. There we go. So once we're intercepted with the glide slope, which I need to just go a bit faster downwards, I think. By a bit, I mean a lot. We're still a bit high, which is good. We are just approaching intercept. This line here should start moving momentarily. That'll be our glide slope intercept, or not our glide slope, our localizer intercept. This top line here will move after that, and that'll be our glide slope intercept. Approaching localizer now. It should come alive in a moment. I am still reading chat, by the way, as much as I can. Localizer should be coming alive in a moment. There it is, localizer's live. The localizer is captured. Hey, Arch. Yes. Okay, there's 2,200 on the nose. We'll hold that for now. So we got glide slope intercept. You just get anxiety looking at all the dials and buttons. They're actually pretty easy to understand. First notch flaps is down. And we got a gear warning, which is good. So our glide slope intercept should be momentarily. We are 4 red currently, which is low. That is perfect. As dumb as that sounds. Coming up on time for the gear to be deployed. Do a Discord link, sure. I need to change the one in the description. In fact, can I do that right now? Dumb things what Dave is doing on Final. can I change the Discord link right this second? Yeah. Save that. There we go, I've changed the description. Right, bit less throttle. And once we intercept glide slope, that's when I'll deploy gear. Got 4 red still, I'm looking for 1 white, looking for 1 white, looking for 1 white. Once you get 1 white, that means we're on glide slope. Well, we're nearing glide slope. This now sounds like a lawnmower. Glide slope intercept should be shortly. And yes, we are intercepting glide slope, which means we should start descending in a second. Bit more throttle in. Bit more throttle in. Go. Glide slope is intercepted and we're descending. At this point, gear out. Gears down and locked. Through the final bits of cloud and you can see the true brightness of everything. And let's disconnect autopilot. We are now manually flying this plane. Need to go down a bit faster. Actually, no, we need to raise the nose up slightly. We're slightly below slope. Slightly off to the left. So just let the slope re-intercept here. Go for flaps. That's threatening a stall. Way above slope, so I can pull back the throttle a bit, trim down, just let it do a bit of a nosedive, we'll be fine. Slightly off to the left again, and now I can pull this back in on slope. There we go. Bit low, small bit backwards here, just level out temporarily to get back on glide slope. Not even level out, just reduce vertical speed, reduce vertical speed. Slope slightly to the left, but that's fine. this point, taxi light can come on. $300 feet. Well, actually more like 200. Perfectly on glide slope. Don't mind being a bit below at this point. We are safe to the runway. $150-ish. Start easing her in. There we go. That wasn't really butter, it was okay. Let's bring up the airport diagram because I have no real idea where I am. That's the wrong plate. This one I want. We can now bring both engines back to feather. In fact, we can shut down the right-hand engine. Don't need both engines running at this stage of flight. No longer need the landing lights or the strobes. Braking at the end could have been a bit better. The flare could have been a lot better. The landing was pretty bad. Yeah, the aero braking could have been improved. Let's clean up the plane a bit. And this is the set of stands that I want because it looks like a business/GA kind of area. It looks like a private terminal that wouldn't actually have an Air France CRJ. Sorry, that's an ERJ. That's an Embraer. So we'll just park it up right there like that. Parking brake on. And that is that really. We turn off almost all of the lights. We'll keep the panel flow lights on and turn off all these. And now we go dark. So that is that. We are at our destination. We are now in Algiers. Not the best landing in the world. I could have done a lot better, but I don't fly the Baron too much. What did Project Fly think the landing rate was, out of curiosity? 167. Oh, like, it's not a terrible landing. It's okay, but I could have done a lot better as a landing rate for that. At one point during that flight, we had a ground speed of 145, probably while making a turn. Block time is 3 hours 11 minutes, which by my standards is an okay flight. Not too long, not too short. that is going to do it for today. I'll be back next week with Explain at some point. Probably like Friday, possibly Monday as well. But until then, stay safe and goodbye.